Hey, Teddy K here for Best Buy Plugin, and in this video review, we take a look at the Samsung Galaxy Watch Active, Samsung's latest smartwatch that features a much slimmer frame. So Samsung's back with another smartwatch, and this time they trimmed quite a bit of fat from this to this. And the reason for that, I think, is in the name, Active. So Samsung figures, hey, look, we've made some cumbersome watches before. They've been a little bit on the larger side, so why don't we trim some fat and make it easier to wield? And they did, but there's some sacrifices in order to get there. The key one is the physical rotary bezel, which has been a hallmark, I think, of Samsung's most recent watches. And it made it so easy to navigate the Tizen interface. So you just get around so easily with that thing. It's gone here. So you're going to be swiping on the touchscreen quite a bit. There are a couple buttons for back and for the basically the app screen as well. But other than that, you're going to be swiping around everywhere. And of course, that'll be smudging the display and so on and so forth. But I digress. The point is that you have a watch here that is 20% smaller in diameter and 60% lighter. Now, even if I didn't know those numbers, I would have totally believed that anyway, because it just feels like it. I mean, if you've come from a Galaxy Watch or even a Gear Sport and you go to this, you're going to notice the difference very, very, very quickly. Despite some of these changes, a lot of aspects and or just specs stay the same in the Galaxy Watch Active. So for example, the waterproofing's still there. You still get the GPS built in. You still get the same processor. You still get the same interface. I mean, you get the same software basically that's running on the watch. So in many ways, it is the same product, perhaps pared down to some degree, because obviously the battery's gonna be smaller. And the battery life, I think, figures into the whole thing, because no matter what you're doing with the watch, I don't see you getting past 2 days. On mixed usage, I could barely get there. Anything more than that, probably not even. You might be able, depending on if you're using power saving features and things like that, you might be able to stretch it a little bit more. But this is a watch you're going to be charging very, very often if you're using it every day, especially. It does have wireless charging, which is great. So if you just want to put it down on its charger, or you want to put it down on a charging pad, or even the back of one of the Galaxy S10 devices, you can do that. Of course, because the phones have that reverse charging feature, so that works too. So you have ways of charging it, but again, you're gonna have to do it pretty often. You can change bands, of course. The bands that do come with the watch are rubberized, but of course there are other ones of other materials, so you can wear it when you're going out and in other casual situations. But there is one other thing, and it is the blood pressure monitor. So I do want to talk about this a little bit, because I think it's very interesting in how it actually works. Now, I know Samsung hyped this up a little bit, and I get why. I mean, it's kind of a big deal. You put a blood pressure monitor in a smartwatch, it's kind of a big thing. But unfortunately, it's not as seamless as you might think. This isn't like taking your heart rate. I mean, yes, the watch obviously has a heart rate monitor. It'll take your heart rate. It's very easy. It even has kind of like a stress breathing test, which is nice too. But the blood pressure monitor is a serious thing. And there's even a blood glucose measurement that you can take as well. These things, though, are not that fluid or seamless. You have to go through the My BP Lab app. So you download the app both on the watch and on the phone that you're paired with. You then have to sign up for what is essentially a research study. It looks like it's a joint Canadian and American research study. They want you to answer questions every couple of days, and so it is a commitment in order to actually get the feature to work. Now, once you're in, you can measure blood pressure when you want to. So you're not obligated to do it at any certain time. But to get to that point, you have to do it based on those parameters. Moreover, once you are able to actually measure your blood pressure, it just doesn't work all the time. I mean, my first attempt to actually get my blood pressure, it took me 5 attempts. The second time, it took 6 attempts. It just, for some reason, the reading is just not, it just doesn't work. For some reason, it fails. I don't know why, but it just does. So bear that in mind if you are interested in this watch for the blood pressure monitor. It is not fully ready yet as far as this review and at the time of this review, as the watch has been released. But could it get better? Perhaps it could. I don't know. but it is something that I think you should consider before you actually take the plunge and get this watch for that reason. And that's my review of the Galaxy Watch Active. For Best Buy Plugin, I'm Teddy K. Thanks for watching.